Peace out, Harris. It's your boy Evru back with another podcast, man. It's gonna be a doubleheader tonight. So talk to you more about that once I come back on here. But we're gonna talk about Mitch Robinson here, strength and perseverance. Further ado, let's get busy. What's up, guys? It's your boy Evru, host of the Dynex podcast. As you can see, we're gonna be talking about Mitch Robinson here. Like I said on this podcast, I try to do little things a little bit more, little different than other people. So we're not gonna necessarily talk about pure basketball stuff here. A couple basketball things. Just a couple thoughts that I have about the subject, Mitchell Robinson. But just the way that I do things, I'll do things a little bit different. Also, just to remind you guys, I am doing two podcasts today. This is the first one about Mitchell Robinson. About 9:30 or so, I'm gonna go on with State, and we'll do the State of Mind. The Die Hard State of Mind podcast with State at 9:30. So we'll talk about something there too. But while I have your attention, for the first hour, for those that are watching on YouTube, and for those that are watch a little bit later, let's talk about Mitch Robinson, man. So of course, Mitch Robinson and the weight gain, right? So you can see, from the videos here, he's like so excited, to talk about his muscles, whatever. It's a thing. You can see him here. He's just about to start the interview, whatever. So with this whole interview, you could just see that his confidence is up. Just the mannerisms, whatever. He's always been goofy, super goofy. But it's just things are a little bit different now. So we'll get into that in a second. But let me just push play on this video so you guys can really see him here. Of course, this is live television here. So I got to make sure this is proper so you guys can hear it. There you go. All right, so let's just push play on this.
This means protection, so I'm being protected from you guys.
That's why I was 6 feet away. All right, guys.
Yeah. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great, man. I mean, I just did a few things on the court today, and I feel good.
How was your off season?
My off season was solid. I mean, I just put in a lot of time to my body. So, I was up here most of the time. Actually, I was in New York. I left.
So that's a trend, man. I feel like every single player on the Knicks has been in New York for the most part. Training in New York, training with the Knicks staff at the New York Knicks facility. So that's a big positive there for all the players.
Probably think late July, but I was working out with strength conditioning coach with our staff. Just to build up.
Stronger?
Are
you stronger?
Yeah.
Now this is when he starts to really geek out about the strength and stuff.
Yeah, I think I'm stronger. I mean, the weight room, man. I've been in the weight room like crazy. So I mean, it's like I've been on my foot that much during the summer. I had to, do something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so the rest of it is just a bunch of goofy talk there. So I'll leave this up here so you don't have to see my face all blown up on the screen like that. But you could just see the confidence that he's spewing out just from lifting weights. So now I'm just thinking about, I'm older, obviously, right? So when I was about his age, Mitch Robinson is 23. When I was 23, I had just really kind of got into lifting weights, maybe like around year 21 or so, 2021. I started lifting weights and stuff. But like around 23 or whatever, I was lifting. I felt like I was pretty strong and got stronger, able to body guys in the park. Joining tournaments and stuff like that, instead of simply just being like the backup ball handler. All of a sudden now I'm like more than that, a little bit more than that, being more physical and stuff like that in tournament style games, especially like the New York Urban League and stuff. It's really back in the days. It's a little bit more grimier than it is now. So I get it, man. It's so all about positive reinforcement within yourself, because you don't even realize what you can do until you start training yourself. When you start training and you watch that weight get bigger and bigger and bigger on that bench, or that squat, starts getting more and more crowded on that rack there, it does something to your brain. So I think that he got a nice little ego boost here from the weight stuff. So I enjoyed watching him talk, because you have to think of it in a perspective like this. Like a lot of fans now, they're enjoying this team. They're young, but there are older fans that would appreciate what I'm saying here. Like as like an older person, you're just looking back and when you were young, you remember when you were 23. 23 to someone like me is a baby. Being 23 is a baby, man. He just he's still wet behind his ears, still trying to figure out life, and things of that nature. So it's good to see him, talking within his own spirit, and actually, getting giddy, just talking about this the lifting weights and stuff. But like I said, I remember it, man. And there's the whole thing with putting that weight down on your chest and lifting it up off you, grabbing a heavier dumbbell and whatever. It gives you confidence. It boosts your ego and things of that nature. But at the same time, you learn very quickly that even though you do have that extra strength or whatever, it's really the confidence is what propels you to do better. So the confidence of him, after lifting the weights, whatever. But I mean, simply adding muscle, that's the cliche that I cannot stand amongst fans that follow basketball. Oh, yo, he put on 15 pounds of muscle. He put on 20 pounds of muscle. So Mitch Robinson is what, like 275? Like at the end of this video, he was kind of like downplaying that. Tom Thibodeau also downplayed it a little bit too, because as soon as you start doing cardio, some of that weight is going to go down. But here's the thing: weight doesn't mean intimidation. Weight doesn't mean strength. Weight doesn't all of a sudden mean he's going to be a tough guy, or all of a sudden nobody's going to be able to push him around because he put on all this quote unquote pounds of muscle. That is so cliche. There's so many different players out there throughout the history of the NBA that were skinny, and was strong. Like you have that uncle. That uncle is strong as hell. You don't know why he's strong like that. Dennis Rodman is a guy that comes to mind. 6'8", 210 for his whole career, able to body Shaq in the post. You know what I'm saying? Not body, but at least defend Shaq in the post at 6'8", 210. You know what I'm saying? With the career that he's had. Another guy like say like Bull Outlaw. If you remember Bull Outlaw, he used to have like the sunken in face and super big biceps and stuff like that, but he wasn't like a huge dude. He still was like about 210, 215 or whatever, at the same size, about 6'8" and stuff like that. But you got other guys too, like Bill Laimbeer and everybody that the young people always say, oh, look at these carpenters and stuff that the NBA used to have back in the days. Muscle tone and having ripped abs and bulging chest and stuff like that, that doesn't mean strength. It doesn't mean strength. So there's a lot of things that Mitch Robinson's gonna have to figure out. Of course, with this cardio stuff, he's gonna have to get himself back into game shape. They're already saying in this video here, he said that he's basically not trotting and not sprinting. He's in between somewhere. So he's still not full speed in practice. He's still not really bumping and grinding the way that he would like to. He said that he wants to, because he just wants to test his strength, how he is against grown men. Because at 23 years old, you're not necessarily a grown man. You're a grown man by age, but not necessarily through experience and and things of that nature, man. So it's interesting. But one thing I would like to point out is that for him, for his injury, adding all this weight is not a good idea, because we're talking about a stress fracture. Was it a complete break? I'm not exactly sure, but it's actually on the side of his foot. It's not on the inside of his foot, or in the front, or in the top. It's on the side. His injury. So when it comes to cutting and pushing off of guys and battling in the post, I feel like he's gonna have a lot of problems with that. Strength wise, it might be good, but planting his feet, being able to jump and things of that nature, that's something that needs to be tested. And they're already talking about that he might not start the season. This might linger on until December. So we really don't know. We're kind of just speculating at this point. But it's great to talk about the lifting weights and the putting on the pounds of muscle and on the side on the thing. But adding quote unquote muscle, pounds of muscle, and all this other bullshit that people like to say, that does not necessarily mean anything. Actually, it just means that he was lifting weights. I'm actually in a training camp myself. Like, so I've been telling you guys that I qualified for the New York City Marathon last year. Well, before COVID, but then they canceled it last year. So then this year, I've been in a rut, and I know you see I'm in that dad bod contest, man. So if anybody could please find that dad bod link, I don't have it ready at the moment, but the dad bod link that I have on Twitter is pinned to my Twitter page. Go in and click that link, man, because I got a dad bod. At the same time, I'm still trying to get into this New York City marathon. So I'm going to run it, but training wise, right now I'm kind of behind. I have my own injuries and stuff like that. But here's the thing: these guys are NBA basketball players. Not to discredit that or whatever, because it's not easy to stay in that type of shape. But the thing about it is, like, they're not somewhere in somebody's job or whatever, for 10, 12, 16 hours, and then still have to try to figure out to get to the gym and still find a way to spend time with your family and your children, your wife and your children. So it is an uphill battle for me. So, not to take anything away from what these guys do too, because they have a lot of things going on for themselves as well, team obligations and things of that nature, But like I said, fans and media and everybody like that, they like to give these players a little bit too much credit or like too much sympathy, as if they're going through something different than anybody else in the world. We're all going through stuff, and like I'm always saying, nobody cares, to truthfully, but everyone seems to put these guys on a pedestal. So, I like Mitch Robinson. Of course, if he's healthy, he's going to make our team better, But at the same time, he's just a man. Now he is a man, So we're at a point now where he's at the last year of his contract. We got to figure out whether or not he's somebody that's going to be worth keeping. At this point now, he's injury prone. At this point now, we have mad questions about his weight, questions about the endurance, whether or not this foot's going to be able to get back, and things of that nature. And you're also kind of messing up the whole thing here that we got here. Now, Nerlens Noel is somebody that we got that Tom Thibodeau said that he wants him shooting threes in the corner, But now if Mitchell Robinson don't play, that kind of puts a little wrench into the plans there, So now Nerlens Noel might be asked to start. Now, Taj Gibson, somebody that, Taj Gibson looks extremely tired. I don't know if you guys noticed that. In all the interviews that he's had, he looks like he's like about to pass out. Looks a little swollen to me a little bit. So I think his age might be getting to him. Not saying that he's not working hard and not doing everything like that, but he's getting up there in age. So he looks a little swollen to me. So I get that, as an older person, how that could be going on. Maybe inflammation a little bit, maybe overtraining, maybe just anxiety, trying to get himself together to get ready for training camp, that type of thing. But now you're going to have Taj Gibson in a position where he might have to play heavy minutes for us, So then you got Jericho Sims too. Jericho Sims was slated to be put in the G League. So now let's say if Nerlens Noel comes out there, Nerlens Noel gets hurt or something like that, or Taj Gibson, Taj Gibson is just not ready, for the heavy minutes and whatever. Even though Taj Gibson, is going to run through a wall for everybody for New York City. But we might have to call up Jericho Sims a little bit early now because Mitchell Robinson might not be ready to play. Also, Obi Toppin is going to be in the mix there. I don't know how ready he is, but you see what I'm saying? For him not being able to get on the court, it's just like a domino effect now. Now, that domino effect was always there. It always was there. It's just that everyone assumed that Mitchell Robinson going to come back and all this other stuff. But now it looks like that, that we might have this. This is like the first real drama that we have. So this is kind of very important, man. So it's cool to talk about the muscle and all this. He's flexing, he's excited, and he's happy. As a young man, 23 years old, excited to show off, and just to prove himself. I get it, man. But there's a lot of dominoes that fall if he cannot produce. Also, too, if this persists and it continues on into the season, and attitudes and things of that nature come into play, if that becomes a problem, maybe the trade deadline. He might be somebody that might be put on the trade block, or maybe in the off season, he might be put on the trade block. Excuse me, but but at the same time, if all things go well, Mitch Robinson will be great to bring back. We don't have to trade for anybody else. We could just keep Mitchell Robinson and build the way that we've been building. If all things go well, what I'm saying. So these are all things that need to be talked about with training camp. Aside from all the dumb shit that I see people talking about on their podcast. Even though I don't have time to watch full podcasts, I've seen excerpts and people talking about different things. I try to watch whatever I can watch on Twitter, while I'm going about my day. But just basic stuff, that needs to be talked about. One more thing too, like a couple, like I want to say, like last week, like I said, like it was like a whole week that I took off from podcasting. As you know, I love to talk. I could talk forever. You know what I'm saying? So last week, Mitchell Robinson put up a post about his kid. That he wished that he could see his kid a little bit more often, or whatever the case is, So he's going through family troubles. He has a kid. He's not married to his wife, to the young lady, and they're having visitation problems and stuff like that. So this is all about growing up. Same thing. I don't give a damn about his personal thing. I'm not going to judge him based on it either, because I have my own stuff going on with that. And I was 23 years old, and I was going through that type of thing also. I was living with somebody at that age. My son was just born at 23, about the same age as Nick's Community Podcast, Aiden. Actually, shout out to Aiden from Nick's Community Podcast. So anyway, 23 years old, I was already a father. I'm head of the household. Raising one kid and another, and my son's older brother also. So that's a lot for a 23-year-old. So I can sympathize with that, because when you're young, you just want to be there for your family. You want to do anything that you can, whatever. You brought somebody into this world. Maybe you care for the other sibling there too, so you want to be there for everybody. So there's a lot of stress that you could put on yourself. That could contribute to the way that he dedicated himself hard to the gym. Because if he can't get to his kid, then you take it out on the gym, and that's exactly what I did. When I was going through that stuff, I was just in the gym, YMCA. What were we talking about? Columbus Circle, playing basketball. After I tore my ACL, I was in there playing basketball. Got into running. Got into a whole bunch of different things just to get my energy out, from the stuff that was happening in my personal life. So I sympathize with him and stuff like that. But one thing I just wanted to say about that, I had somebody to jump into the comments the same way that people jumped in the comments about this stupid vaccine stuff. Everybody always has a strong opinion from coming from a place of no experience. So I'm talking about Nick's content creator, a young one of the young guys, high schooler, jumps into a 40-year-old woman's comments and starts chastising her about the vaccine. Okay, cool, whatever. I already said what I had to say about that in my last podcast. Now this time around, I made my little comment on Mitch Robinson's post. What I basically said was, he's an NBA player. You're not gonna be available when the season starts. You're gonna be across the country for 42 games. I mean, for 41 games, plus the playoffs, plus practice, plus everything that you need to do as an NBA player. Now, like I said, I'm a grown man myself. I work. I have a family, and this and the other. I have little guys as well in my present self right now. Not my younger self, my present self. I have all this stuff going on, but I still want to do my podcast. I still want to work out. There's things that I want to do for myself, which you should. You should always do things for yourself. But you have a family, so you have to figure it out. You have to figure out your dreams, your hopes, and stuff like that, things that you want, and you have to sacrifice a lot of that stuff in order to take care of your kid. And a lot of times too, you have to sacrifice being there for your kid the way that you want to, in order to provide for them the other way. Because it's a double-edged sword. Either you're gonna play basketball and make your millions of dollars, and then work hard enough to get that next contract to take care of your kid, or you can stop playing basketball and be a father for your child full time. Because it's about what you want and what your hopes and dreams are. I know coming to social media is just something that people do. So an NBA player is going to be guilty of it. Regular people are going to be guilty of it as well. Just coming on there, just talking junk about your kid's mother, your kid's father, or just venting about whatever is going on in your life. We do that. So NBA players are entitled to do the same thing too, because we're all human. But just for people that like to pop in comments and they have no experience, whatever. So anyway, this dude that popped in the comments, he was just on there. How dare you say stuff like that? Have some respect for him, you disgusting human being. I'm listening to him. So I was giving him advice in such a way that, listen, man, you have to get through it. You just have to figure out a way to get through it. And that's really, I wish when I was 23 years old that somebody told me that. Because I mean, my pops went through it when he was my age, basically. But he never gave me that branch to help me get through mine. It's basically like, okay, I went through mine, now you get through yours by yourself. You know what I'm saying? So me giving that little piece of advice underneath Mitchell Robinson's post, if Mitchell Robinson saw it, hopefully that he read that and could see that my comment was real. I'm not trolling or nothing like that. I'm a grown man with experience. Putting in a comment. Whatever. So anyway, this guy comes in and he's chastising me and this, that, and the other. But then he goes on and say, I'm a father too. But listen, I'm a father too, married and got kids too. That's what he said, whatever. So I mean, that's coming from a naive standpoint. Not everything lasts forever. That the same guy could be coming from a place oh, how dare you talk to Mitch Robinson this way about his children, have some respect and all this other stuff, because he's not getting the whole picture of what I'm trying to say. Fast forward 2 years from now, he's gonna be in family court crying his brains out, not knowing what to do because his son's mother or whatever's happening, or maybe he might have cheated on his wife and got himself in trouble. You never know. This is everyone's journey in life that you have to go through. But like I said, no one cares. No one gives a fuck. Guess what? This is your life. You need to grab yourself by the bootstraps, as they say. Lace up your kicks and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? Or else what you're gonna do? Blow your brains out? That's not an option, man. So endure. I got a shirt here. This shirt here is actually from a business that my son's older brother is running. He's a fitness enthusiast. So I actually supported his business, even though he don't fuck with me no more. You know what I'm saying? He don't fuck with me based on stuff that happened in the past. My older son, he kind of follows that footstep too. You know, I haven't really spoken to him in a while either. You know, like I said, he's about the same age as Aiden. About to doing the college stuff or whatever he's doing at the moment. So life is not easy. Like I said, I'm not afraid to be transparent. You know what I'm saying. But it's everybody goes through stuff. That's the whole point. So we come here for the next podcast to talk about Knicks and things of that nature. But like I said, real life does come into play. Like if you want to talk about lifting weights and stuff like that, there's another story. There's another story behind it. There's another story behind what's going on and stuff like that. Other factors that factor into why a player is not playing to potential that you think he could play in. Because everyone's quick to talk shit and crack jokes and call people all kind of outside their names, but never sit back and think about the humanity. Even though they claim to say, "Yo, man, how could you not? How could you be so heartless and all this other?" But you don't really give a fuck either. But you just trying to play your own bullshit. And just to prove your own damn point. So anyway, much respect to Mitch Robinson. I hope that his situation gets better. It will. Like I said, through time, things will get better. Or not. And at the same time, too, get through it. What you're going to do? Blow your brains out? That's not an option. Here's one thing. I keep saying blow your brains out, whatever, but that's a real thing. Stress and stuff like that can lead you down that path, right? Here's the thing. If at 23 years old, 26, 27 years old, you're going through something in that age, right? What are you going to tell your 42-year-old self later on in life, like that you killed yourself at 23? Your 42-year-old self is like, yo, why would you do that? Look at all this life that we live. Look at all the things that I achieved. Look at all the things that I was able to accomplish from 23 up until 43. 20 years difference. So much life can be lived. You know what I'm saying? So, that's my message to everyone that's paying attention here. If anybody that's on here watching, looking for a podcast just to get away from something, yeah, man, listen, everybody goes through shit and it is what it is. You are the one to have the hopes and dreams to do what you need to do. So then go ahead and fucking do it. If you don't have the balls to do it, then don't do it. Who gives a fuck? You know what I'm saying? But at one thing, you live and keep going through it. Keep your strength. Like I have it in the on the thumbnail, and persevere to reach your goals and stuff. So shout out to Mitch Robinson. Hopefully that he can get himself together and become the starting center for the Knicks that he should be, because we needed him last year. We absolutely need him now because, like I said in the beginning of the podcast, dominoes will fall if he's not able to play a long time. It's going to mess up what we got going on here. So Mitch Robinson is very important, man. Every single player is very important in their own right. But like I said, I'm talking about Mitchell Robinson right now. So, I saw State in the chat here. I bet she's wondering what the hell is going on. I see he's going to get his headphones. I'm so happy he got his headphones. Now you can actually hear him, and I don't have to be going through all kind of stuff trying to fix the audio and stuff like that. So anyway, 9:30. For those that are watching now, you can tune into me and State at 9:30. We're going to talk about whatever we're going to talk about. You already see the thumbnails, man. So get ready for that. Anyway, this podcast is going to be over. Once again, see you in about 10 minutes or so. And me and State will be chopping it up in a few with the dire state of mind. So anyway, the next podcast, E-Rule out. 4 fingers to the forehead. Tucking the thumb salute. Should I say what's up? I didn't even look at the chat. Let me look at the chat, man. I see my guys here. Queen's Court is here. Thank you very much. She was here earlier. I'm not sure if she's still here. This is my guy, Dre. Dre Day. A shout out to Julian Blum. Blum's here. So Julian Blum is agreeing with some of the things I'm saying. Here goes Eric, Mr. Greenhouse here. Greenhouse is one of my favorites, always supporting. Mitch Robinson's gonna be fine. He's just overthinking, absolutely. Spinning the wheels. Yeah, he's young, man. He's just a baby. He's literally just a baby. Just only a few years ago, he was in high school. Only a few, like 10 years ago, he was 13. It's crazy. Like, in perspective is a motherfucker, man. Think about it like that. 10 years ago, Mitchell Robinson was 13 years old. You know what I'm saying? 10 years ago, I was Mitchell Robinson, the age that he is now. So, that's a lot of perspective there for you. So, yeah, man. Yeah, he did have a long time to recover, man. But, like I said, I painted that picture, man. There's a lot of things that could be thought about of why he's not able to heal the way he needs to heal. Stress is a big factor in that. Not saying that he is stressed out or anything like that. I don't know. And, I almost don't care. But, it's his life. I don't know what's going on in his life. So you can't really speculate on it. You could talk about it, but, you can't, really, chastise him too hard about it. El Servi, Yeah, he should be ready for. I'm thinking he's gonna be ready for open day. I think they're just babying him because at this point in time, there's no point of rushing him hard like that. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah, man. If it's a complete break, then it's better, of course. Same thing with like an ACL. Like if you partially tear your ACL, that's not good. It's better to just destroy the ACL completely, let them reconstruct it, and then deal with it that way. Because like a partially torn Achilles, ACL, a kneecap, anything like that, shoulder. Most older people have a problem with their shoulder, partially torn shoulder. Doctors won't do nothing until you get super old, or you completely tear it. If you completely tear your shoulder, then they'll say something about it. So yeah, yeah. Hopefully, it does more for his confidence. Just that talking about his strength, obviously. Yeah. Shout out to Jarrell. The guy's always here. James Leak is a guy that I don't recall seeing, but got to give guys in the chat their time. Mitch is gonna be okay if he stays. So yeah, man, absolutely. Still Knicks fan. Shout out to the MBK Fantasy League. He was there with us. Who else is going on here? Like I said, Mitch got his State got his headphones. So anyway, man, shout out to everybody. Sergeant Nick here. Salute to you, my brother. We gotta get up on a podcast again. And that's it, man. Shout out to everybody that contribute to the chat. And I'll see you guys in 8 minutes now, all right? With the dire state of mind. For those that are watching live, and for those on the recap, please just check out any of my shows, especially recently, man, and just see what I have to say about stuff. Anyway, see you guys on the next one, guys. Peace.